From the minute the aircraft touches down, it's apparent that there's something quite different about this corner of Iraq. Marching across the tarmac are businessmen, not soldiers. The advance guard of foreign investment, lured here by a slick PR campaign.
In the Kurdistan region of Iraq, investors aren't just building an airport.
We are building a democracy.
Come see what's happening in the other Iraq, Iraqi Kurdistan. See the promise.
Share the dream.
On first impression, Kurdistan's capital, Erbil, appears to match the corporate hype. No street battles or car bombs, just the clamour of construction. Massive new projects rise out of the plain, complete with the Kurdish version of the all-American dream home. Kurdistan is an autonomous region of Iraq that already acts like an independent country. Recently, the Iraqi National Flag was banned. Now it's the Kurdish colours that fly over this frenetic activity. The centrepiece is the massive Erbil City Scheme, taking shape under the direction of Lebanese project manager Jack El Boustany.
And the total project is 1 million square meter built up area. It has 4 towers. Each tower is 30 stories high. It will have around 10,000 shops, around 2,000 offices.
And what's that costing?
It's costing around $400 million.
Kurdistan had a long head start on the rest of Iraq. Since 1991, its autonomy protected by a US military no-fly zone. But it wasn't until after Saddam's downfall in 2003 that things really took off.
This project actually is unique. I think it's one of the biggest now happening in the Middle East, even in the Gulf area. I think maybe just Dubai might think of going that big.
What Kurdistan now has to offer is peace, a precious commodity that commands a high price. Where's the money coming from?
It's mainly local investors.
When you say local, Kurdish?
Iraqi? Kurdish, and there are many Iraqi investors who are coming here from Baghdad, investing in this area.
About the only area off limits in this construction boom is the city graveyard. It remains an unintended monument to the decades of suffering endured by Kurds, systematically suppressed and massacred under Saddam's rule.
Americans done in liberating Iraq. I mean, the people here view it as a liberation, not an occupation.
This other Iraq has architects you won't see in the promotional videos.
You know, the story here is that there's no story, if you will. The story here is success.
American Harry Schute arrived in 2003 as Colonel Schute and was US military commander here before resigning to become security advisor to the Kurdistan government.
Here are all in agricultural pursuits for the most part. School right here on the left.
He takes us on a road trip through his Kurdistan, the tense, unforgiving world of counter-terrorism.
I mean, if you were to take a person who was here with me in that first year and put them back in here now, they wouldn't recognize the city. There has been that much change, that much development here.
For Harry Schute, this corner of Iraq has become home.
Tell him to go right around the checkpoint.
He recently converted to Islam and married a Kurdish woman. But the omnipresent team of bodyguards is a reminder that he is still a target for insurgents.
So you're well known around here?
You might say, yes. When I was in uniform, I was doing a weekly press conference, and so I became a little more well-known than I'd like at some point.
So who are these guys there?
The sentries belong to Kurdistan's 80,000-strong Peshmerga security forces. No Iraqi National Army units are permitted here, and the US has only a couple of hundred soldiers in the entire region.
Yeah, this is a Korean military vehicle. Don't know if these guys are coming back in from a, one of their reconstruction visits or what.
The main coalition presence is provided by more than 2,000 South Koreans. Here, because their government believes this to be the safest place in Iraq. Even so, half of this force will soon be going home. For a while, Kurdistan appeared to be on the same slide to anarchy as the rest of Iraq. Hit by a wave of car bombings orchestrated by the Kurdish Islamic militants of Ansar al-Islam. But in mid-2005, the attack stopped after 300 members of Ansar were driven out. They headed south to join forces with Arab insurgents. Harry Schute shows us the simple but highly effective defence deployed against the car bombs. A 3-metre deep ditch that now rings the capital Erbil, forcing all traffic through just 5 checkpoints.
How effective has that been?
Well, knock wood, it's been 100% effective so far.
Yeah.
So, it's done its job up to date.
So it's been, 18 months since the last serious attack?
I guess June of 2005 was the last attack of significance here. Car bomb came in from the south. Yeah, so since then.
An equally important defence is Kurdistan's homogenous makeup. 95% of the population is ethnic Kurd. Predominantly Sunni Muslim, though largely secular, the Kurds are proud of their own distinct language and culture.
Well, this is the frontier between Kurdistan and basically the rest of Iraq. This point has effectively become an international border. The Kurdish security forces are here, and as you can see, they check every vehicle and every individual that crosses over here. And although they're reluctant to admit it, the Kurdish authorities do engage in profiling. Any Iraqi Arab in particular has to have an extremely good reason to be permitted beyond this point to gain entry to Kurdistan.
Exceptions are made for Baghdad's Arab elite seeking refuge from the war. Those with something to offer, the businessmen, doctors and engineers, are quietly welcomed to start a new life in Kurdistan.
This is being stopped because it's a Syrian vehicle.
For now, the security measures seem to be working. But everyone is acutely aware the other Iraq image could be shattered with just one well-placed car bomb.
In this kind of a security environment, when you are a security provider, you have to be perfect every minute. And the bad guys just need to get lucky one time. And they may achieve some degree of strategic success.
Massoud Barzani has spent a lifetime fighting for a Kurdish state.
Good morning, President. How are you?
Now, as president of the Kurdistan region, his fervent nationalism has been replaced with pragmatism. Kurdish independence is opposed by Sunnis and Shias in the Iraqi national government and by his close allies, the Americans.
استقلال حقك طبيعي يمايا نيمة بضي نيمة نويكين يون نومو نوي
بەڵام ئێمە زیاتر تەماشای بەرژەوەندی ملەتی خۆمان ناکەین. ئەعلانی استقلال لەم زۆرفەدا ممکنە ئێمە تووشی گیر و گرفتێک ببین کە ممکنە پاش 10 ساڵی تر 15 ساڵی تر دنیا بگۆڕێ ئێمە تووشی ئەو گیر و گرفتانە نەبین. ئێمە دەمانەوێت بەڕاستی ملەتی خۆمان دوور بکەین لە شەڕ و لە ئاژەوە ئەوانە.
The Kurds are still driven by the cult of their legendary guerrilla fighters, the Peshmerga, literally translated as those who face death. No matter which way they turn, the Kurds see enemies. They view themselves as the victims of geography and history. More than 25 million Kurds are scattered across the region. Only 5 million are in Iraq. None of Iraq's neighbours welcome an independent Kurdish state in their midst. Turkey is fighting its own Kurdish separatist movement, the PKK, which operates from sanctuaries inside Iraqi Kurdistan. If Kurdistan ever formally declares independence, Turkey threatens to invade.
ئەگەر تورکیا حەق بە خۆی بدە سنووری ئێمە بپسێنی ئێمەش هیچ ڕێزێک بۆ سنووری تورکیا ناگرین. تورکیا تەسەوەر بکە ئاگر دینیتە ناوماڵی ئێمە ئەبێ بزانی ئاگری گەورە کەویتە ناوماڵی خۆی.
Just down the road, President Barzani faces a more immediate crisis.
Okay, we're going to fill up.
Kurdistan survives on this black market fuel, smuggled in from Turkey and Iran and openly sold at roadside stalls. It's ironic, given that Iraq sits on some of the world's largest oil reserves. But the insurgency has crippled fuel production, and the major oil fields still functioning lie outside of Kurdish control. This petrol comes from Iran and costs about $1 a litre, 8 times the price paid before Saddam was deposed.
فرقي صدام وأوان شيء بخوا فرق يعني يقدر مساوي بخوا يشتغل صدام باشتر ولا ما لم حكومة العراقية كي صحيح يشتغل صدام باشتر شو كان ايش بينود بي نيش بغاز بي نيش بخواردين بي نيش اشتكي جراني تيانا بو يسبب جارية اوي توبلي جراني حمل اوي فقير هم عالم فقير تساوي له نبي
Oil and nationalism are a volatile mix. And for the next leg of our journey, we'll need the protection of the Peshmerga.
Okay. Great. Okay.
We cross Kurdistan's border into the uncertainty that is the rest of Iraq, towards a city that may ignite yet another conflict. And this is our destination, Kirkuk, lying just outside Kurdish territory. This city of more than 1 million people will have to vote this year on whether to join the Kurdistan region or stay with the rest of Iraq. The referendum, a key condition of Kurdistan supporting a federal Iraqi government.
We can't go into the city today because our Peshmerga escorts feel that it's simply too dangerous. There's too much insurgent activity happening. Kirkuk is a contested city. The Kurds claim that it should be part of Kurdistan proper. The only problem is it's also claimed by Iraq's Arabs and some ethnic minority groups. Compounding these ethnic tensions is the fact that Kirkuk also sits atop vast quantities of oil. And if Kurdistan is to have any chance of economic independence, it needs to get access to this oil.
Over the course of the time of Saddam's time in power, he conducted a very, very aggressive campaign in all of the Kirkuk governorate to move Kurds and in some cases Turkoman out of Kirkuk and move Arabs in from the south. the coin was termed Arabization.
Turkey regards the city's sizable Turkoman minority as brethren and warns Kirkuk's incorporation into Kurdistan is unacceptable. But President Barzani says his demand for Kirkuk is not negotiable.
تركمان هولاتي مولاتن همو حقيقيون باريزرو همو حقيقيون هيا وبجدار ابن وهمو حقيقيون بي ادري لبر هیچ مشكله نيه وهيچ حساسيتك نيه. طبعا اگر تركيا لبر 200,000 تركمانك حق بخوي بدا تدخل كل لوضع كركوك 25 مليون 30 مليون كردش لتركيا هيا.
Nationalism aside, the Kurds simply can't afford to wait for Kirkuk to be resolved. Kurdistan now relies on the national government in Baghdad to provide its budget. It's a tenuous financial lifeline at best. Just north of Kirkuk, we're back in Kurdish territory, approaching one of the region's most sensitive installations, the heavily guarded oil facility of Taktak.
This is number 6.
Yeah.
The Kurds have long known vast reserves of oil lie untapped here.
What are the reserves? How much oil are you sitting on here?
According to our document, we have about 2 billion, the capacity.
2 billion barrels.
2 billion barrels, you know.
By the end of this year, production will begin in earnest. Despite the cross-border tensions, a Turkish company has the $3 billion contract to build the wells, a refinery, and ultimately a pipeline to Turkey. Officially, all of Iraq's oil industry is controlled from Baghdad. But the view here is what's produced in Kurdistan will benefit Kurdistan.
We wanted to use the oil to develop our region because of, before the Iraqi regime, they used the oil as a weapon against the Kurdistan region. Now, no. Now all the system is changed. We wanted to produce oil to build for the new system.
The winter snows finally arrive in Sulaymaniyah, Kurdistan's second city. The plunge in temperature highlighting the urgency to get oil facilities up and running. Here, electricity is rationed to just 2 hours a day. A barrel of heating oil now costs 1 month's salary. Taxi drivers queue for kilometres in the bitter cold, waiting for their meagre ration of official fuel.
والله إيجار هيا ساعات حوتي إوارا يين درو سراغرين بو روجي دوائتر بو ساعات سي برمان ناكوي انجالي و روج دوائتر ورنوا.
There's no electricity, no other resources for Kurdish people now. It's a good example of the lack of the basic shortages.
Lawyer Bakhtiar Saeed spells out the common complaint that few dare express publicly. He claims the energy crisis is being worsened by endemic government corruption.
حكومتي هريمي كردستان تا هاتوا مثلا او داهاتاني كبدسي هنا على حكومتي مركزي او مثلا بو خوي قرق كرد داهاتي في مثلا زور بو هولا بو ك او كل شغل سرمايه كوب كريتوا و باش يقلو سرمايه ناردو دروي ولات لباقتانا لويدانا و باش يزور كميانا و خلق نسبتي فساد رجعي فساد للعراق ولا كردستان في رابورتي مفوضي نزاهي دولي نسبتي لفاها اشتاي.
During our visit, Kurdistan's cherished peace would be broken, not by protesters or insurgents, but by Kurdistan's closest ally,
and answers to its people.
the United States.
A democratic Iraq will not be perfect, but it will be a country that fights terrorists instead of harboring them.
As President Bush announces his decision to send more US soldiers to Iraq, there's another unexpected troop movement in Kurdistan.
So we turn this place over.
US Special Forces have raided this Iranian government mission in Erbil.
Well, the Americans have hit the Iranian mission in the early hours of the morning. They've, as you can see, turned the place over. There's not a chair or table or desk left unturned. They've taken away 5 Iranians for questioning. However, it hasn't all gone the Americans' way. Another unit of US troops nearby here who were part of this operation were confronted by Kurdish security forces. There was a tense standoff for a number of hours before both sides backed down. Kurdistan's President Massoud Barzani is furious.
کاری که زور احمقانه بود و به نسبت ایما قابل قبول نیست و نوع رفتارانه باشن سیاده اقلیمی به نسبت ایما زور مهمه و رفتاری که اهانه تداوی بو کرد نه لامریکا و نه لهیچ ولاتی قبول نکن.
The Americans say the Iranians captured here were secretly supporting insurgent groups. But the Kurds claim the mission functioned merely as a visa office for the many Kurds with close personal and business links with Iran. The Kurds feel betrayed by the US, believing that the raid undermines their hard-won autonomy.
امریکا کن یعنی چون شوینه که غلط اگر ل ایرانی بگرنیان لخالک که پلان اگر دژی آوان هولیر او شوینه نیه.
Thank you, America.
The Kurds of Iraqi Kurdistan just want to say thank you for helping us win our freedom.
Thank you for democracy. Thank you, America.
Thank you.
This other Iraq does have a lot to be thankful for. At least here, the street fights are in jest, with laughter of relief from those spared the sectarian bloodbath engulfing the rest of the country. The Kurds are extraordinary optimists, but they face enormous obstacles. And the dream of building a homeland doesn't offer much warmth for people enduring winter without affordable heating, power or fuel.